Today we are going to see an important concept from database management system. So the topic is about cardinality in DBMS. So here is what we are going to cover. Introduction to cardinality, types of cardinality, minimum and maximum cardinality, and last, optional and mandatory ordinality. So what is cardinality in DBMS? In DBMS, cardinality means how many times one entity can be linked to another entity. Simpler சொன்னனா how many things are connected to other things. For example, can one student enroll in many courses? Here, student and course are in a relationship. So this is known as cardinality. As we know, cardinality shows how the entities are connected to each other. There are four types of cardinalities between tables. They are one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. In one-to-one cardinality, an entity in a set A relates to exactly one occurrence of another entity in set B. For example, we have two tables called student and student info with the name and ID number. ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு ஐடி நம்பர் தான் மேட்ச் ஆகும். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் நோன் அஸ் ஒன் டு ஒன் cardinality. In one-to-many cardinality, an entity in set A relates to many occurrences of another entity in set B. For example, we have a department table with department name and department ID, and we have another table called employee table with employee ID and employee name. Here, one department can contain many employees, but one employee can be in one department only. So this is known as one-to-many cardinality. In many-to-one cardinality, multiple occurrences of an entity in set A can relate to one occurrence of another entity in set B. For example, we have that same table called employee and department. Here, many employees can work for one department. So this is known as many-to-one cardinality. In many-to-many cardinality, multiple occurrences in an entity set can relate to multiple occurrences of another entity set. For example, a student can enroll in multiple courses. A course can have multiple students. So this is known as many-to-many cardinality. Next, we are going to see notation in ER diagram. So notation is used to express minimum and maximum cardinality. It is also known as business rule because it gives limit based on actual needs. Here, N denotes minimum number of times an entity must participate in a relationship, and M denotes maximum number of times an entity can participate in a relationship. For example, 1,5 means one entity must connect at least one and at most 5 to other entities. Next, we are going to see ordinality in ER diagrams. While ordinality defines how many instances of one entity relate to another, the ordinality focus on whether the relationship between entity is mandatory or optional. In mandatory ordinality, two entities must be linked. In optional ordinality, two entities may or may not be linked. For example, a patient must have a patient history. So this is mandatory. A customer rents a video or he may not have rented the video. So this is known as optional ordinality. So we have seen cardinality in a relationship types like one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one and many-to-many, and ER diagram notation, and last optional and mandatory relationship. So thank you.